Okay, welcome back to Western Mike. This is YouTube tonight. Have two topics. Have the fan going. Probably shouldn't have to clean that. Also have to clean the fridge again. Cleaned the fridge condenser coils. Fridge coils. But did not clean the fridge fan. So have to do that. No, yeah, you can't just use your fridge. You have to clean the condenser coils and you have to clean the fan. You also have to clean your vortex fan. You can't just use this stuff. Cutting back on alcohol is easy. Also, narcissists don't know when to stop. They don't know when to stop. You think you do. And that's going to be another rant. Good morning, YouTube. I know I say YouTube tonight. That's just part of the title. Try not to take that personally. No, yeah, it was a good evening last night. My bartenders may have joked about me having 8 drinks or 10 drinks or something like that, but I'm pretty sure that didn't have 10 drinks. That may have just been a joke. I think, have been doing this pretty consistently now. Have had 3 or 4 drinks, when I'm going out, but the emphasis is on 3 drinks. Um, that is a goal, and have been able to do that quite a few times. Have been able to go to the bar and have only 3 drinks quite a few times. 2 drinks, a few times. 1 drink, a few times. This is easy. Okay, they actually beer is maybe not so much wine, maybe not so much whiskey, but beer is a very generous beverage. If you have 4 glasses of beer, technically you are only having 3. And if you have 3 glasses of beer, technically you are only having 2. So you're kind of allowed another backup kind of reward drink. Maybe not, 2 or 3. And maybe making sure that the ABV is not too high because that's going to mess up your count. So my whole thing is I see a lot of people drinking up when they start drinking, and then that messes up the count. So just, again, what I've said in the past, having too much all at once and not paying attention to your count. It's that simple. When it comes to drinking responsibly, it's that simple. Not too much all at once, and pay attention to your count. You can't just drink. You've got to pay attention to your count, and you've got to not have too much all at once because it's going to mess up your count. You don't have to be totally anal about it. You can be a little bit flexible about it. You don't have to white knuckle this to the point where you're micromanaging yourself, because that's not fun. But also, the idea isn't to have 10 drinks in a night, in an evening. You don't want to have 10 whole drinks. That'll kill you. 10 drinks will kill you. So yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. You can be a little flexible here or there. You don't have to micromanage yourself about this, but also just be aware that 5 drinks is heavy drinking, even in one day. And that's going toward a territory that you don't want to traverse. Trust me. I've been there. But also, maybe in a way, wasn't really ever really there, because was always trying to do this. And, you can try. It's not always going to happen like that, but you can try. I'm not going to drink during the work week. Drinking during the work week absolutely sucks. Drinking is nice, it's fun, but not during the work week. If you're ever wondering why ask yourself this question. Am I having issues when I do this in a different context? If so, that's because you're simply just choosing the wrong context to do it. Have done a lot of research on this, and If you want to cut back, number one, first and foremost, just know the context, and you'll be good. Bartenders have your back. Bartenders want to make sure you don't drink too much. Bartenders want to make sure that you are not micromanaged. Yeah, this is about your health, not micromanaging. What may sound bureaucratic to you is actually just people making sure that, looks like we have some people joining us live here. What you might interpret as bureaucratic from bartenders or from bars or restaurants or whatever, they're just making sure to prioritize your health. So the idea is not to get drunk, it's just to get a little bit tipsy and then move on. And how you do that is simple. You just don't have 5 drinks in one evening. Don't have 5 drinks. Have 4. Maybe don't even have 4. 4 technically is heavy drinking, even for men. So don't even have 4. And also don't drink up, drink down. Don't drink up, drink down. What's nice about drinking down is that you kind of start at the higher stuff, and then you kind of work your way toward things that are less. And that'll help with the count a lot. Whereas if you're just doing one high thing after the next, that's going to kill it. So, no, yeah, not too much all at once, and drink down, not up. Drink down, not up. No, yeah, you could start with a wine and then go to a beer. Maybe don't start with a beer and then go to a wine. When I've done that, definitely that has been a mistake for me in the past. When it comes to overconsumption, is simply just maybe starting at a lower base and then working my way toward a much higher level instead of the opposite. It sounds counterintuitive, I know, but this is how you can do that without getting drunk. I like drinking without getting drunk. Not during the weeknight. Not during the weeknight. Too early. Have stuff to do. Not everything conflicts. If it's tough to wake up from a couple drinks at 4 in the morning, well then it's gonna be tough to do it in the first place at 6 in the evening. Why would you do that? Yeah, I'm not even a fan of weeknight drinking. Weeknight drinking sucks. Was only doing that to cut back my consumption, and was able to do that. So I'm just not going to do that anymore. No, yeah, you only drink during the weeknight if you're trying to if you're cutting back your consumption. Don't do that so much otherwise. Or otherwise, it can just be occasional. It doesn't have to be, a daily thing, because then it becomes frequent. Okay, so um, most people probably who even do this, they probably don't do it that much during the week. You can be spontaneous, just not don't be toxic spontaneous. Toxic, and we're gonna get into toxic in a minute after some things I've seen this week, but um, toxic spontaneity, I think, is a major problem. That's a major problem. Toxic spontaneity. It's okay to be spontaneous. Spontaneous is but not to the point where it becomes toxic. Not to the point where it's destructive, getting in the way, blurring the lines between responsibility and allowing yourself at least some fun. Having too much fun is it's not terrible, but it's distracting. Um, yeah. So this was a bit of a tough week. This was a tough week. So that's the only reason why I was doing that earlier this week. And forgive me for any disruptions or anything like that this week. Really tough week. Yeah, not easy at all. And no, yeah, narcissists didn't make it any better, but cool people did make it better. And that's what's so cool about at least cutting back on your alcohol consumption is you get to talk to cooler people. Um, if you get drunk, you're going to deal with drunks. If you cut back, you're going to be around more responsible drinkers. This is important. Everybody should cut back their alcohol consumption. There should be just a mission statement for everyone. Everybody should do this. This should be mandated. People talk about mandates all the time, constantly, to the point where it causes a lot of communal stress. Everybody should cut back their alcohol consumption. Nobody should get drunk. Getting drunk should be absolutely off the table. Me, I'm just somebody who just likes to get a little tipsy, and that's why you'll often see me maybe start with an IPA, but then work down toward a lager instead of the opposite. Or maybe just have lager instead of IPA entirely. Might do that too. Even today might go out, but I'm gonna have a pale ale. I'm gonna have a pale ale and maybe some, bohemian. I'm not. Already had wine and IPA and such like that yesterday. Don't really need to do that again today. You don't have to always do this stuff. You don't always have to have fun. You don't always have to have the same fun. How about having different fun? How about making sure that you're doing everything? People mention being well-rounded. People don't mention constantly doing the same thing. This is what I have read from AI. AI said this. What was once exciting has now become a strict, rigid routine. So cutting back is easy, but you don't only cut back the drinks, you also have to cut back the days too. Because that establishes infrequency. Okay. You can't just cut back the drinks, you also have to cut back the days. You have to cut back the days so that you can be more prepared to get up in the morning and to be self-sufficient throughout the day. And then you have to cut back the drinks. And my thing, just to establish infrequency and to stick to it, and that's why I probably am not going to drink today or tomorrow. Technically was drinking other days this week, but still. That's just 3 drinks a week. Infrequent drinkers have as little as 3 drinks a week or less. They barely have anything. It's easy to do. It's easy to do. You can whip out that timer, and you can just sit with 1 drink for an hour, or maybe even 2. Me probably a drink take me around 30 minutes to an hour to complete. So, yeah, I really like the low ABV stuff because that actually helps with the count and not over consuming. No, yeah, and also just you don't need to have IPA all night. You can swap IPA for lower strength beer. You may swap a wine for a beer. You don't have to have the same thing the whole time. That might help with consistency, but also I kind of liked starting with wine last night and then making my way down toward beer. I liked that. I liked doing that. That felt like a good step to take instead of maybe having wine after wine after wine. Because you really can only have 3 glasses of wine. You can have 4 glasses of beer because that's still, in a way, 3 drinks, maybe even still 2. It can be a little confusing, but wine maybe 3 tops, 3. Because if 4 beers will get you drunk, 4 wines will get you more drunk. So yeah, that's maybe where you want to have maybe 3 wines and 1 beer, and that's it. That's basically what I did. It's basically what I did. I had 2 wines and 2 beers, and went over to a second venue and then but then had just one more, mango beer, and that was good. That well, both occasions were nice. A lot of nice people, a lot of nice staff. Even a little bit later in the evening. And you know what? If I'm going to a restaurant, I'm going to try to prioritize getting some food in too. This is stupid of me. This is stupid of me. Just that this was one mistake that made. This is my final mistake that I'm going to focus on is 3 drinks, but with some food. I got to get some food. Yeah, careful with that because when you go out, it's too easy to forget to get some nutrition in you. Well, let's see. Okay, so I'm kind of more toward the 200 this morning, but it's not the worst. It still says 144, 144.6. No, yeah, 3 drinks a week, and just make sure to get some dinner in, and you're good. And that's why I'm going to still skip today and tomorrow because it's time for me to establish in frequency. Um, Being a frequent drinker, yeah, that's would agree with other YouTubers. Being a frequent drinker is a nightmare. And also, just what used to be exciting has now become a rigid routine. Um, so yeah, having 3 drinks, once in a while, once a week, that's pretty fun. But then doing that again, especially when have other stuff going on, how is that fun? That's not being spontaneous. That's not fun. That's toxic fun. That's toxic spontaneity. Um, so yeah, we'll be spontaneous. We'll have fun. We'll be flexible, but not to the point where it gets detrimental. Not to the point where it ruins relationships. Work, family, work. No, yeah, don't. Even if you're more, you don't have to drink during the work week to be spontaneous. No, no, and in fact, would say that it's more spontaneous to do it maybe once a week instead of every single freaking day. No, yeah, was drinking a little bit more frequently last couple of weeks and months there because of just stuff going on. But I'm gonna stop that because you stop the bad version of it, and that could perhaps, you don't know for certain, but that could perhaps um, be the solution to all your problems. So no, yeah, it's just drinkers making mistakes. It's just you just don't have the right context in mind. You just don't have the right context in mind. Um, I came across this at a very young age, so I wasn't totally aware of what I was doing. Um, and it got toward a point where I was having a beer every night. Um, yeah, and my parents were saying, "No, yeah, you don't have a beer every single night." And they're right on that. They're right on that. That you're right. You're right. Um, Doing the same thing every single night, that it becomes a rigid routine. It's not fun anymore. It loses its value. It's now, oh, do I have to? Alcohol's nice, but you drink enough of it, and you might not only not want to keep on sitting around, but you might even feel a bit unpleasant inside because you've had so much booze. Um, if you keep drinking and keep drinking and keep drinking, especially day after day after day, your liver is going to certainly remind you. Your liver is going to say, "Hey, I don't want this anymore. What are you doing to me? I hate you right now." So that's why you establish in frequency, and you quit with the even if you don't quit entirely. Um, It's good to be an infrequent drinker, but that's a two-stage approach. Uh, First, you have to cut back the days, and then you have to cut back the drinks. Cut back the drinks after. Don't worry about that too much, because then it's like you don't want to do it that much anyway, because you want to probably because you just aren't a very druggy person. Just drugs are drugs, and drugs manipulate. Um, I think we're kind of, in fact, dealing with two topics of conversation here. Kind of like people manipulating you, and then drugs manipulating you. There seems to be a lot of manipulation, but you may, in fact, defeat manipulation. You may, in fact, defeat manipulation. Um, no, yeah, it's gone to the point now where I have done that so many times, can just chill, because if I'm going to go out and do it, we'll just know, you just need a list, and you just need to understand your general ballpark. Um, eh, and you can go over a little bit. Don't micromanage yourself so much. Just don't have 10 drinks, because that will kill you. I think honestly may have had, 3 or 4, but probably more like 3. Had a wine, had a beer, and then had a lower beer, or had a cider and a lower beer. That could have pushed it toward 4, but then there's the last beer that had that I don't think that was even a standard drink. So 1, 2, 3, and then okay, yeah. So maybe went over by like 1 drink. So may have had 4, but I'm pretty certain did not have 5 drinks. Did not, even if had 4, did not have 5. Um, so yeah, I'm not a particularly heavy drinker. Not trying to be, at least, at least. And no, yeah. So let's see about this list. Generally was in the right ballpark. May have gone over a little bit last night, but didn't go over that much. Okay, so the 2 glasses of beer that could count as 1. So that is a 1, 3, and 3, and then not sure even finished my mango beer. 2 and 3, and then the cider. I think the cider was 1 standard drink. Yeah, so may have had, 3, may have had, um, yeah, yeah, may have had at most, 4, but, under 5. Let's say that had under 5. Um, had the red wine, that's 2. Had the 2 beers, that makes 3, and then had the cider. Or had, yeah, a little confusing. So that makes 3. Cider, that may have been 4, and then had 1 more mango at another venue, which was also fun. But I think that mango was less than 1 standard drink, so pretty sure that had under 5 drinks. Okay, so did that. Wait, so 1, 1, 2, and then and yeah, you can say that too. So yeah, I really didn't have that much. Um, I think even the red wine was a smaller pour, so think had a one, two, three, 3.5. Yeah, so may have had four. May have had four. But pretty again, did I have five? It's possible. But that's not my goal. So no, yeah, had a wine, had a cider. So that would be, but the wine was less than a standard pour thing. So think had the wine, had the cider, that's two, had the pale ale, that's three, and then then had the smaller wine. And, yeah, yeah. Think just barely went over by four, and don't even think finished that last drink. So I think I had only three drinks last night. Uh, just okay, I did it. No, yeah, very, very easy. And you can just tell your bartender who's a cool person, hey, just want to have this amount, and they will honor that. So we're gonna go into an intermission, and you know what happens next. Be right back. Okay, and we're back. Narcissists, what is going on with you? We've had quite a few incidents this week. Um, okay, so again, oh, that's pretty cool there. Again, sounds like there were some things going on with narcissists this week. They don't care if you're dealing with a tough week. They don't care if it's 5 o'clock in the morning. They just don't care. They don't know when to stop. Narcissists are operating on a different alarm. If you can tell time, well, feel good about that, because narcissists can't tell time. No, yeah, you have to feel for street people, because street people don't have a bed. Street people don't have a foundation, so it's tough for them to tell time. It can be tough for me to tell time. It's naturally tough for a street person to be able to tell time. They don't have their own bed. They don't have a pot. They don't have a pot to piss in. But narcissists do have a pot to piss in, and the fact that they go around acting like a street person, but in a bad way, that's very alarming. I think it may even turn off my fan here, just because I have to unscrew this fan and have to make sure that's not too dirty on the one hand. Have to do that. Also have to do that with the fridge fan. Otherwise, you're going to push dirt all the way through your house and you're going to have respiratory issues. Narcissists can't tell time. And they go around acting like a street person, but in a bad way. It is extremely, extremely insulting. It's insulting to me. It's insulting to my friends and family. It's insulting to my coworkers. We all discuss this all the time, repeatedly, constantly. Why does this person keep walking down? Why does this person keep showing up, even though they weren't before? Why does this person keep, bumbling? Why can't they just be quiet? And why can't they understand that, maybe a street person, they're talking because they have a difficult time with their off switch, and because they just might be going around and they're basically under public arrest, house arrest. They're basically under public arrest. But that's street people. That's street people. They're having an issue. They have a reason for that stuff. There's a reason, as annoying as it can be. There's a reason for it. If you have a pot to piss in, especially in the most beautiful county in the world, you have no excuse to be going around and acting like the center of attention. We had so many incidents this week alone. I'm concerned about a neighbor because their dog, again, a new issue here, their dog barks at everyone, and they keep driving slowly down the street at 5 in the morning, and their car's tinted. Their car's kind of tinted, so it looks kind of creepy. It looks kind of crazy. I don't like that they're doing that. I don't like how there's seemingly a narcissistic neighbor, bad neighbor, bad neighbor, who keeps walking her dog on Redwood High School campus at 5 in the morning. You're not supposed to have animals on the campus. There's a sign. There are kids around. Why the fuck do you keep hanging around a place where kids are known to be around? Yeah, and she keeps walking back and forth, back and forth. And if I'm walking on the school to get to my bus stop, there she is. And if I'm walking outside the school, if I'm walking past the school, there she is. So these narcissists, they do this. Here's Johnny. This kid was walking on one street near my building, and now he's walking past my building. And I tried to dodge him on the right side. He was showing up. I tried to dodge him on the left side, and he was still showing up. So again, with the here's Johnny. No, yeah, I'm definitely not about that kind of behavior. There was a girl on the ferry who made sure that my beer wouldn't spill, and then a creepy old dude started harassing her about her bike. That happened pretty much yesterday, on Thursday. The old dude just kept on talking and was all, "Oh, you're very smart. You've had one conversation with her, and it's not even clear that she really even wanted that conversation with you. How do you know that? How do you know that? How do you know that?" I understand about old people. I like old people. I don't like geezers. I don't like geezers who go around and constantly disrespect their fucking neighbors. Those are the old people who I don't like. I like old people. I give old people a hug. I may even flirt with some, old ladies. I might do that. But I don't like these geezers constantly going around being disrespectful, being nosy. I don't like that fucking at all. Especially when Solar Peso Bar is still, in the midst of rebuilding right now. You probably should be quiet. How about you be quiet? Because there's been a lot of drama and there's been a lot of manipulation. And in my mind, the best course of action is for you right now not to go around trying to overcompensate is for you to be quiet and to let people enjoy their day. How about that? And don't be going around being a bad neighbor and giving people attitude everywhere you go. To the point where even when you're trying to be friendly, it seems like you want to freaking kill the person. You are acting like a serial killer. That's what somebody said to me at one point when I wasn't really being very aware of what I was doing. You're not being friendly, Michael. You're not being friendly, Michael. You are acting like a serial killer. You got to be aware of this shit. You gotta be aware of when your words and actions don't match. When you say one thing, but that look on your face is something else entirely. You have to be very aware of that. It's not just say hello to your neighbors. You have to say hello to your neighbors. But it's also you need to make sure that you're not being hey. Can't stand that shit. Can't stand it. And then a day after that old guy was being creepy, I saw a dude in his taxi in San Francisco. I saw a dude and I got a text from my friends. Thank you. I saw a dude in his taxi in San Francisco blaring his horn at a girl on her bike. The girl got out of the way, and then the taxi driver kept standing there, kept sitting there. You serious right now? Just so you just blared your horn at a little girl, and a day after saw somebody being creepy toward a girl on the ferry. The day after seeing an old guy once again being creepy toward toward a little girl on the ferry. Now you see a creepy dude in his fucking cab, blaring at a little girl on her bike. She gets out of the way, and then the taxi driver, and then the cabbie was taking too long to go through the intersection. What's going on here, guys? What's with the overcompensation? What's with the this isn't friendly. This isn't friendly. Okay. This is an attempt. It is an attempt at a manipulation. All right, I gotta see what my text is. All right, that's a very cool text that I got just now. No, yeah, I like my friends and family. Like the neighbors who greet me at the bar, whether they're serving me or they're even just saying hi. Why do I like these folk? Why do these folk get my time and attention? Because they have earned it. Because they're being respectful. Because they're showing loyalty. And because they're not trying to start shit. They're not trying to create drama. They're not being all, hey, here's Johnny. No, yeah, they're not going that shit. They're not doing that. They're just saying hi to people. They're just, being very merry. Eat, drink, be merry. That's why I like doing that so much. And it's just, we'll do it on the weekend instead of during the week. And on the weekend, we'll have, 3, and if have 4, that's no cause for alarm. May have had 4, but I think even had under 3 drinks last night. So it really didn't, not under 3, but I think had under 4 drinks last night. And that's definitely plausible. So, it's easy to stick to a list so that you don't get too drunk. And you don't get drunk, you're going to be able to talk to all the reasonable people over here. You're not going to worry about all the people with dementia or bipolar over here who aren't doing anything about it. Just don't get drunk. Just don't get drunk. You don't want to deal with narcissists? It's easy. Just don't get drunk. And how do you not get drunk? Just have 3, maybe 4 most. But 4 spread out, because 4 is even advised against. But not 5, not 6. I think it's even been a while since had really truly 5 drinks. Not even gonna do it today, not tomorrow. I miss my sober weekends. I do, I miss my. Okay, so I like to stay home during the weekend. Why? Why do you prefer staying home, Michael? No, yeah, don't have any plans this weekend. That's all right. But then today, you don't have to go out. Already went out on Friday. You can stay in today. You can still spend some money. You can get yourself some kombucha. You can get yourself, a nice Cubano sandwich. So you can have a Cubano with a kombucha, and that you betcha that would be pretty good. And you can just sit on your porch, and you don't have to have an alcoholic beverage. Well, one of the things I hate about drinking is I'm naturally perhaps a more spontaneous person. So when I'm drinking, uh, I always maybe not compromise, but I always mess up my count a little bit. So yeah, and then that can be a cause for concern. Um, I'm not somebody who wants to be an alcoholic. I don't want to be an alcoholic because alcoholics are going around and they don't know when to stop. They don't know when to. They don't know when to stop. They don't know how to talk. Um, I understand about nerves and things like that, but it's a pretty unsafe area for the most part. So maybe just be cognizant that you're kind of going around running your mouth. Oh no, yeah. And then there was a weirdo cyclist who keeps. I think he keeps riding past me. He keeps dinging his bell over and over and over again. No, yeah, the cyclist he kept dinging his bell over and over again. Um, and there was plenty of room, but he kept dinging the bell over and over again. And then he kept saying, "Thank you, have a nice day." And then he kept waving in a dramatic manner too. I think I've seen this either with multiple guys on bikes or just the same guy who keeps doing it again and again. This is not a way to get attention. This is not the way to get attention. The way to get attention, shake somebody's hand. Say, I don't know, how are you? Good morning. Are you okay? Good. Glad to hear it. Hopefully, I'm not disturbing you. No, yeah, your tone is everything. You can't just go around saying to everybody, oh, I'm not narcissistic. Oh, I'm not narcissistic. But then people keep wondering, what the fuck was the tone with that guy all about? Oh yeah, then a naked dude in San Francisco. Not sure what that's about. Also, I understand not only nerves, but maybe just some people's preferences, maybe. But do some of the guys around here really seriously have to go around with a girly voice, with what they perceive to be a girly voice? It's not really girly. And a sweater. What's that about? What's the combination of the sweater and girly voice, but then being a little bit too hard on other people? It seems like you're trying to get away. Is it just me, or are those folk just trying to get away with shit? It seems like those folk are trying to get away with shit. I don't even dislike my neighbors. I just don't like the crazy ones who keep on, acting like, hi. Um, you're not being one of the friendly people I like talking to. You're being one of the people I have to cross the street to get away from. And this is becoming an issue. No, yeah, I want to have quite a word with my HOA. While I understand some neighbors are just going to be in a dark place, and there's nothing you can do about it. And it's not your business. It's not my business. Still, don't make it my business. Don't make it my business. If it's not my business, then don't make it my business. Don't persist. Don't insist. Don't not cease and desist. Stop with the resist. Stop resisting. No, yeah, these bad neighbors, they keep doing the same thing every day, and then they wonder why they don't have any friends. my life is pretty fucked up. But at least I have some friends, and at least I can still go around and potentially make friends. No, yeah, you got to be patient. You got to be patient. And you have to be patient not just with your drink count, but also maybe you might go over a little bit because that'll happen every time. No, yeah, I may not have even had 4 drinks last night, guys. I'm not, I don't feel it. I don't feel like I had 4 drinks last night. So that's why I'm just not going to do it tonight or even tomorrow or even the next day. Next time I do that might not be until next Friday or maybe even 2 Fridays from now. Just because, some stuff is fun, but only in the moment. Only in the moment. If you keep doing it, it stops being a moment. If you keep doing it, it's going to stop being a moment. And then you will stop being the moment. Now you're a memory. Now, actually. So, would really like those people who are doing that stuff again this week to really take a step back and to really pause and to reflect. Because they keep doing that stuff. And I'm like, even this rough ass week, I'm probably going to do just a nice sober staycation. I need, a little bit of a reset. It was a bit of a rough week for me. I've been a little bit sloppy lately. I've been a little bit sloppy lately, and I need a bit of a reset. So I might spend a little today, but that's it. And I might just get groceries from Instacart. I might not even do that. I might just get groceries from Instacart. Maybe at most get a Cubano. Might get a Cubano. I think have to get kombucha, sponges. I don't need any toothpaste. Thought that soap said Mrs. Renfro's on it. That'd be nice. Mrs. Renfro's soap. But I probably don't need to buy that much. I went to Trader Joe's on Thursday, and it only cost me $60 for a whole week of food. And then I put 1 package of ready-to-eat turkey in the freezer. Okay, and I'm gonna unfreeze that on Monday for Tuesday and Wednesday. Not Thursday. That's too far. And then I'm freezing salmon in the freezer. Gonna first thaw 1 salmon on Sunday night, and then I'm gonna thaw me the second salmon on Tuesday evening. So yeah, it's really that simple. Self-sufficiency is good. Self-sufficiency means that you're just not doing too much of a good thing, and then the good thing kind of loses all its fucking value. Could probably even in a couple hours could probably even go and have a pesky file pale ale. Like to call it pesky file pale ale. It's a good drink. It's a really good drink, but I like to call it pesky file pale ale with a salad, with a chef's salad. Could probably go get that. The sea bass salad could do that, or just get the sea bass salad, or just make one. Really like making a salad with 2 cups fruit, 3 cups vegetables. We'll bring that to work. We'll eat it on a Sunday's technically a weekday. We'll eat it on a weekday at the house. We'll do that. So yeah, apologies guys for the last couple weeks. I know I've been a little bit sloppy, but do know that it is only about forming better habits. I'm going to go to a coffee shop on a weeknight, not to a bar. The bars could use a break from me. That too. Bars could use a break from you. Let the bars wonder what you're doing. The 80-20 Pareto principle. Have heard this from other YouTubers. The 80-20 Pareto principle. 80% of the time you're you're hunkered down. Yeah, so even if you're a perceiver type, you still have to do that. That's why I might even be more of a judging type, just because I might be a perceiver, but there's a very strong case to be made for me being a judger because I like that 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, 80% of the time. And then it's just, you're sleeping and you're doing the gym and you don't have anything interfering. That's actually very easy. If it's easy to have, 3 drinks at a bar once a week, well, then it's easy to do the cutback also. Right? Do I miss alcohol right now? No, I had enough last night. I'll just do it tomorrow, or I'll do it again some Friday. Because this is where narcissists kind of get into their whole thing, is needing too much. You need too much. You're needy. You are a needy person. And that is tried and true, and you will not contradict me on that. You can try, but you will not contradict me on this crucial piece of evidence. You are a needy individual, and you are insatiable. I like to have fun. Sure. What could be better than that? Quoting my mom. Quoting moms on that one. Well, what could be better than that? Too much fun, though, turns you into a bit of a narcissist. Yes, we'll say this. Too much fun turns you into a bit of a narcissist, because you get told yes too much, and then you start to expect yes. You shouldn't expect yes most of the time. You should expect no most of the time. So yeah, today infrequency, no. Tomorrow infrequency, have work the next day. No, I wish, but no. No, yeah, there has to be a ticket. Everybody has to have a ticket in life. Everything requires a ticket. No, yeah, you're gonna come up on me. Yeah, you have a ticket. No, yeah, if you're gonna do stuff, you need a ticket, and you need to earn your way there. You can't just do things constantly all the time. Maybe some folk who do that, maybe it's because they can. Maybe if some people can have fun all the time. Me, I'm an office worker. I can't always have fun. I can't always have fun. I have to be disciplined. So yeah, even if we're a perceiving type, think would still be disciplined. Yeah, it's very likely that could be a judging type too. I'm somebody who needs discipline. I need discipline. Plus, judging types can be just as much, if not more, kind of playful as a personality than a perceiver type can. Maybe the case could be made that, perceiver types may be inherently more turbulent than a judging type. So, who knows? Who knows? I could be a perceiver type. I could be a judger type. Not quite sure. Maybe I'm more of a judger type. Perhaps I'm more of a judger type. But regardless, I'm not going to engage in toxic spontaneity. I'm not going to do that. Be very, very wary. Note the distinction. I'm not going to engage in toxic spontaneity. I didn't take my bath last night, so I might take a bath today and again tonight. Might do that. So that's my spontaneity for today. If I want a beer, I might go out and have a pesky file pale ale, with maybe 3 Truber Pilsners. Might do that because that's 4, but technically that would be 3. So yeah, I could do that. But then wouldn't do that tomorrow because tomorrow I have work the next day. No, yeah, you can't drink on a weeknight. You can't do that. Even if you moderate, which is tough enough as it is, it's still gonna show up. So, why not just have a clear head, especially given the fact that it's pretty unsafe these days? Why not just have a clear fucking head, Monday through Friday? Why not just do that? And it's kind of like a nice, shift, I think a spontaneous person would probably say, yeah, drinking's fun, but don't want to do it all the time. Don't want to do it at the same time every single day. Don't always want to be drinking the same stuff. So, no, yeah, look at me. I almost went out to Pacific Catch last night. I forgot. So maybe that could be something that I do today. Yeah, so either the plan today I'm gonna do kind of a spa over here. That'll be pretty nice. But might go to Pacific Catch and have a sea bass salad with a pesky foul pale ale, and then maybe three Trumer Pills later. Trumer Pilsner. Trumer Pilsner. Really good. That beer is really good. It's not bohemian or anything, but it's still really, really good. It's fresh. It's fresh. It's nice. But yeah, we'll just do that. Yeah, my limit is three drinks. Three drinks. That's my limit. Um, the 1, 2, 3 rule: one drink per hour, two drinks per occasion, and three drinks at most per day. Four drinks for men is still considered heavy drinking. So might not be binge drinking, but that's still heavy drinking. No, yeah, might go out, but we'll know what to do, and might even just skip it, bag it. If I'm feeling it, we'll do it, but no, yeah, I'm probably gonna bag it. So I'm probably not gonna go out that much, if at all this weekend. That's because the beauty of Friday is that it's still a week, and then you're saying, "Oh, did you go out this weekend?" Not really, not really. Thanks. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts. See you in the next video, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good one. Have a good week. If you go out, remember, please, moderation. Three drinks. And no, yeah, that's really all you're allowed. Three drinks. Stay under four if you can, and definitely not five. And make sure you clean your house, fridge, coils. Yeah, just have a good one, guys, and see you around. And Shelby holler in a humble manner, and we'll certainly do the same back. And yeah, we will know what to do. So thanks, and have a good one. Thank you, and goodbye. Have a nice day. Have a nice weekend. Out. 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 And remember those those 10 beers are not going to drink themselves.